Hello everyone, this is Historical Amusements back with another Minecraft Kennywood video. And the day is finally here. The long-awaited tour of what I've done in my Minecraft Kennywood world is here. So let's get right into it. Alright, starting off with the main entrance here, we have the carousel horse fountain, which is one of the first things you see when you enter the park. It has a nice planter around it. If you actually look inside the fountain, there's some coins people have thrown in there, just like in real life. Up here we have the carousel horse. Behind that we have the main entrance building. So you can go and buy your season passes and your tickets here. This building actually just got a repaint for 2022. It's all yellow and green now. There's this old reddish color scheme here. Over here we have some of our employees who'll sell you tickets and season passes. Coming out of here we have the security building where they scan you or metal check you. So you can go through here, see if you have any metal on you. A security guard will be here and checking your bags. And you can hit the button and go through the turnstile right there. We also have some nice planters around the park. On either side we have the guest service building over there and a gift shop over there. Not much to really see in there, so up here we have the map. You can see how much I've got done about the park. About 80%. Coming down this way to enter the park, you can see a nice view of the Laser Loop's back spike there. And the Laser Loop's loop. And down the tunnel we go into Kennywood. Alright, now we are entering the park. Here's Kennywood. So the first thing you see when you enter Kennywood is this kaleidoscope building over here. This building was built in the late 70s and was originally an arcade. Now they sell all sorts of candies and things here. Like fudge is what they're famous for. So you can buy all sorts of candy in here. Up here is the dining area, which now I believe there's lockers up here. And over here, right across, we have the first ride you see, the Turnpike. The Turnpike opened in 1966. It replaced the Laugh in the Dark ride that was here. It was demolished in 2009 to make way for the Skyrocket. Mine is themed to the Gulf gas station company, which is what it looked like in the 80s. I'm not going to be riding it today because I want to make separate videos for each rideable ride. Besides the roller coasters, we will be riding Laser Loop and Jackrabbit today. But yeah, I built some of the cars lined up there, just like they were in real life. I did get to ride this ride when I was 4 years old, so I don't really remember, but I'm sure I enjoyed it. Coming over here from Turnpike over there, we have one of the large pavilions. This is the one where they rent it out, and they do a lot of ethnic days here. My family is Slovak, and we have our Slovak days here. So we will come out and do dancing on the stage, and eat under here. So yeah, I know this place pretty well. And back here we just have some more pavilions. Over here, you can have picnics in. And on the one way over here, this one right here is the Jackrabbit Pavilion. And it's called that because you get a really nice view of the Jackrabbit when you look out from the side here. And there's the Jackrabbit, which we will be riding today. Alright. Coming out from where the pavilions are, we have the Haunted Hideaway, aka the Old Mill. So this is the 1974 version of the Ghost Town theme. Once again, I won't be riding it today. It will have a separate video coming out soon. But here's the loading station in here. Here's the house that used to be painted white before it was the brown color scheme now. The queue line was on the other side there. But yeah, this ride is complete. And yeah, there's the Haunted Hideaway. Over here, we have the windmill. The windmill used to be on an island in the lagoon, but it was moved over here and replaced with the silver rockets. And here's the windmill. Walking down the midway here, we have the back side of the cottage restrooms and the barn games building right here. So I built like a game where you throw a baseball and knock down milk jugs. There's some prizes on the wall you can win. There's the barn building. Pretty nice. Right next to that, we have the Penny Arcade. This is its old paint scheme. It's all repainted now. And in here we have like a giant claw machine, some little game systems. Over there we have skee ball and pinball over there. There's the Penny Arcade. And across from that we have the Penny Arcade gift shop right here. You can go in there and buy all sorts of random things. Park merch. And right here we have another games building. I haven't really finished a lot of the games, so they're a work in progress, but the buildings are completed. Coming down this way, we have the college restrooms over here. So you enter from this side, and it's just a restroom. You can go in here and not really anything to see in there. There's the college restrooms. One of the oldest buildings in the park, I believe. And over here we have the Kangaroo. This is actually the older version of the Kangaroo before it got its refurbishment recently. Yeah, so this is when it was kind of didn't have the big background or anything. Just had the little frills in the middle of it. It's a pretty fun ride. You get some pretty good airtime on it. It was one I probably rode every time I went to the park. I'm very glad they brought it back. Alright, coming over here, we have the George Washington statue. So we got George Washington and his horse up there. Pretty nice statue there. Coming over here, we have the Paratrooper. This ride, unfortunately, was removed. I still don't know why they removed this ride, but they unfortunately removed it. And it was probably one I rode every time I went to the park as well. So it's very unfortunate they removed it. Basically, you'd sit in these little gondolas, and it would go up on its side and spin around. And I actually built this when it was still standing. That's just how old this world is. Alright, so there's the Paratrooper. Alright, moving over here, you get a nice view of the lagoon. You got the Sky Coaster up there, if it'll load in. It's very tall. There's the lagoon, you can see the Sky Coaster Island. Right here is something new I added, the boats. So you can take a boat out in the lagoon if you wish. There's that. And over here we have the refreshment stand right here. So you can buy all sorts of food here. It's a pretty iconic stand if it's neon lettering on it. And across from that, we have the Jackrabbit. Why don't we take a ride? Alrighty guys, it's Jackrabbit time. Here we go. Got the Jackrabbit Pavilion over there that we were at. Down the first drop into the ravine, through the tunnel, back into the ravine again. Now we're going up the lift hill. Gives a good view of the Sky Coaster over there. There's the lagoon, the Paratrooper merry-go-round over there. And down that double dip, get some crazy airtime. Takes your picture, go up here, go around, you see the maintenance area over there, and a little bit of racer in the distance. And down into the final drop, and back into the brake run. Alrighty, coming off the Jackrabbit, we have the Jackrabbit photo stand right here. So if you want to see what you looked like when you're going down the double dip, you can come here and buy your picture. Behind me is the Gunsmoke game. This game was a game where you had pellet guns you could shoot at targets, and it was around in the 1970s and 80s. Next to that is the Pastime building. It's a lot bigger now, but back in the day it was a little smaller and had a 1960s Art Deco architecture to it, with the giant clock in the middle, and some games beneath. Here's a games building. I made mine into a little basketball game. And next to that we have the Rita's Ice Stand, which is now an Auntie Anne's. And here's the racer. So since I have no one else in the world with me right now, I'm not going to ride it because it's no fun to ride if nobody else. But it does work, it is finished. It's been finished for a while now. And yeah. Next to that we have the Hillbilly shooting range. So basically this game is that you have little laser guns and you shoot targets in this western themed area and things move. Mine actually works. So if I had a bow and arrow, I would shoot these little pressure pads and things would happen. Maybe I'll showcase that in another video. Here's the Log Jammer. The Log Jammer closed back in 2017 and the steel curtain sits on its plot of land now. But it was a ride I grew up riding a lot. So, let's take a ride. Alright, here we go, down the drop. Big splash. So, we never really got too wet on this ride, but it was still a really fun one. And I was very sad to see it go. Alright, after exiting the Log Jammer here, we have the Whip. And yes, the Whip used to be located over here. In fact, the building is still there. It is now enclosed and used for the Steelers Country cafeteria. But it used to have this really cool multicolored facade with Whip on it. This ride's now in Lost Kennywood. It was moved there in 1995. But it's cool the building still remains. Moving on, we have the Log Jammer photo building. So if you want to see what you looked like on the Log Jammer, you can buy your photo here. Next to that, we have the Star Stand, which is a stand where you can buy interesting fried food like fried Oreos. I've never tried it though, but it's a very interesting looking Art Deco facade. And up here we have the Wonder Wheel. The Wonder Wheel was the park's Ferris wheel from 1981 to 1999. Aero 360 now sits on its plot of land. Next to that, we have the ghost ship. Now, none of you watching this video, unless you're over the age 60, probably remember this ride, and that's because it burned down in 1975. But it was a Bill Tracy built dark ride. I'll be showing it off in another video. I'll have its own video showcasing all the details I put in it. Next to that, we have the Golden Nugget. The Golden Nugget is actually part of the dance hall. It's one of the remaining parts of the dance hall. It was saved from the fire and the ghost ship burned. You can buy the interesting square ice cream cones here. That's what the stand's kind of famous for. Now behind me we have the barbecue place called the Swinery. You can buy some fresh cooked meats here. Have a barbecue. It's pretty cool. Over here we have the bridge and the garden stage. So here's the garden stage stands. You can catch a show here on the old garden stage. This garden stage still exists, but it's a little further up, and it's no longer on an island like it used to be. And above we have the Silver Rocket ride. Over here we have the Monongahela Monster. The Monongahela Monster used to actually operate on top of the garden stage from 1979 to 1988. If you've ever been to Idlewild and ridden the Spider, this is a very similar ride to the Spider. It's a little bit of a bigger one, but it's pretty much the same ride. You have the Carousel. This is the Grand Carousel. It was built in the early 1920s. I got the exact date. But yeah, here's the carousel. I think this turned out really good. I'm really happy with this one. It's funny because I built it 4 years ago and it still looks good. But yeah, there's the carousel. Over here, we have Johnny Rockets. Johnny Rockets actually used to be the old carousel pavilion, and then they switched it over here. Johnny Rockets, before it was Johnny Rockets, was just a food court. But they changed it into this awesome 1950s themed restaurant. And it's really cool. This is probably one of my favorite places to go and eat at Kennywood. This is 1950s look to it. I just love this time period. Alright, coming back over here, kind of from Johnny Rockets over there, we have the Rotor. This ride was located kind of right by the entrance. The park had many rotors through its history. This one was here till 1994. Not one I ever rode, of course, but it was an interesting ride in the fact that you would get in this giant cylinder, and the floor would drop, and you'd spin around really fast and stick to the wall. Apparently, a lot of people got hurt on it. Probably one of the reasons it was removed. The Grand Prix bumper cars. So this ride is actually getting refurbished right now. It's getting Potato Patch Fry themed. But here's the Grand Prix. The bumper cars. And over here, we have the laser loop. Now the laser loop isn't in the correct spot. It was actually where Steel Phantom is, but I wanted to build it, so I built it where the road should be. So this ride opened in 1980, a Schwarzkopf flywheel launch coaster. Interesting thing about this ride is that you can actually still see footers from the ride there under Steel Phantom's lift hill. Alright, let's take a ride in the laser loop. So you get launched out of the station and up into the loop here. Fun fact also, this ride might be getting rebuilt in New York at Niagara Amusement Park. So hopefully, maybe one day, if I'm lucky, I'll get to ride the original Kennywood laser loop. It was moved to Mexico after Kennywood and operated there as Cascabel 2.0. But now it's at Niagara Amusement Park. So hopefully, it'll get rebuilt and refurbished. And people who missed the laser loop can go ride it. Also, the station for laser loop is the same station that Steel Phantom uses. That's pretty cool. Alrighty, coming back from the laser loop, over here we have the Bear and Curve. The Bear and Curve was one of the 4 rides that was removed in 2022. Probably because this ride was down a lot, which unfortunately was the case, but it was fun when I rode it. The ride basically would go around really fast in a circle. Mine does work, if the power rail was on, but yeah. Over here, we have a building that actually shouldn't be in this area of the park, but I had some extra space to build it where there's actually like an electrical building in real life, but I wanted to build this facade, because this is one of the coolest looking facades ever. It's the old Zoomerang building, which actually would be where Luck Has Show was. It was actually a dark ride at one point, and a skee ball building, so I built it when it was a skee ball building. Walking over here, we have the Wipeout, which was a kind of a small flat ride the park had. It was actually located more down there where the slingshot's gonna be. But I built it over here because I had some room. So there's the Wipeout. Next to that, we have the Games building, which is now the 4D Theater. So we have some games in there. It used to just be a games building. And here's the pirate ship. I made the pirate ship to what it looked like when it opened in 1982. So the entrance was actually on this side, but here's the ship right here. I think the ship turned out really good. It took me about a whole hour just to design the ship. But you can see it there. We got the pirate sign up there. Right next to the pirate ship, we have the Music Express. This ride is kind of similar to Bear and Curve, but it goes a little slower. It has a lot more theming. So mine does work. It goes in a circle. Yeah, in Minecraft it's boring, but in real life this ride's actually really fun. Coming over here from Music Express, we have the King Kahuna. The King Kahuna was a very short-lived ride that Kennywood had, lasting from 2003 to 2008. It closed due to maintenance issues because it was down a lot. This was a Huss top spin. It would basically spin around. It would spray you with water. Try to make some water effects here. It was actually the new ride for the Volcano Valley section of the park when the Enterprise rethemed the volcano. The pirate got a makeover. So yeah, pretty unique ride. And next to it, we have the Volcano. The Volcano is the park's Huss Enterprise, opening in 1978 as the Enterprise, but it was rethemed the Volcano in 2003, and this area became Volcano Valley. So we have the Volcano here. I'll get a little flyover of it to see the ride. It was one of my favorite flat rides. I was very disappointed it was removed. I guess Spin Invasion's a decent replacement, but Volcano is just such a unique ride. We also have the park office back there with the wave texture on it. And behind me, we have the guest service building, which if you've lost something or anything, you need help finding stuff, you can go here and they'll sure to help you out with that stuff. The guest service building is the Flying Carpet. The Flying Carpet opened in 1987, and nowadays the Cosmic Chaos sits on its plot of land, but it operated here until 2006. This ride was basically you'd sit on a carpet and it would flip you around without taking you upside down. It would make your stomach drop. Right next to that, we have the park office. The park office has its interior completed. There's really not much to see in it, though. I might take you in it in a different tour video, but for now, you can see the exterior. It has the little fountain on the outside, too. Over here, we have the Parkside Cafe. Parkside Cafe is completed. You can see the awning there. I think this building is one of the nicest looking buildings in the park. My interior is completed for this one. There's really nothing to see, though, just some chairs and tables and things. Over here, you can tell where my progress has stopped. You can see the Big Dipper food stand right here. This is where the Wave Swinger and Thunderbolt going to be, and the Lucky Turtle all going to be over here. Going to be Steel Phantom's going to be up there. But here's the Noah's Ark. Mine is completed. I'll be doing a separate video showcasing the interior of it. This is the 1969 version as well. And yes, I did make the whale have a squishy tongue. He does have a squishy tongue. Right across the way from Noah's Ark, we have the Lucas Show Dark Ride, another Bill Tracy designed dark ride Kennywood had, the same guy he did the Ghost Ship. Lucas Show means the dungeon in French. This ride opened in 1972 and closed in 1998 because the building it was built in was structurally unstable. I'll be doing a separate ride review of this one coming soon. Coming down here, we have the Pagoda Stand, complete with the dragon heads from the front of the old millboats. This was built in 1987. Based off the one in Tivoli Gardens. You can buy ice cream and all sorts of interesting foods here, but no Chinese food is present. Walking from the Pagoda Stand, over here we have the Novelty Refreshment Stand. This is a really cool Art Deco style 1950s refreshment stand the park had till 2007, when it was replaced with a basketball game, which is now Thomastown. It's a very cool looking building. Next to that, we have Kittyland. I won't be walking through Kittyland today, although I will tell you it is completely finished. It's just a lot to see, and I might be doing a separate video for it. Next to that, we have the Auto Race Ride, which was a car ride built in the 1930s. Basically, you get in a small car, and you ride around this wooden track, giving really good views of the train, Raging Rapids, and over here we have the train station. This is what it used to look like when it was called the Oldie Kennywood Railroad. In the window here, you can even see Laughing Sal. If you look in the station here, you can actually see one of the spare trains on the track there. Right next to the train station, we have my latest addition to the park, the Raging Rapids. The Raging Rapids opened in 1986 and was a $2 million ride when it was first built. This ride is very accurate to what it looks like in real life, and has so far been my most tedious project in the park. Here's that waterfall that will always get you wet no matter what. And you will not come off this ride dry. You You can also see one of the control towers over here where the employees sit to push the buttons to spray the geysers at you. Coming back over from Raging Rapids, we have the floral clock over here down this small pathway. The floral clock is this cool clock that Kennywood makes out of bushes and flowers. Over here we have the other side of the Sportland game building that houses the Gold Rusher in it. And speaking of the Gold Rusher, here's its elevated platforms. You enter the ride under here, then go up some stairs and ride the ride. Nowadays, the Ghostwood Estate sits here. You can kind of imagine the Haunted Mansion here. Back in the day, it was the Gold Rusher. Alrighty guys, that's just about going to wrap up this video. Be sure to like and subscribe if you want to see more ride-throughs like Noah's Ark, Luck House Show, and the Gold Rusher behind me. And tell me in the comments what you think of this park so far, and be sure to share with others who might like this. Thanks for watching!